Okay, you know how we start. Temperature check. Check in with you. How are you doing personally? How's your working group doing? How's our community doing? Anything you want to raise with the other stewards and all our contributors? And I guess I'll, oh yeah, I should set a timer for 1.5 minutes. And when I unmute is kind of when it means that 10 seconds. We're at the 10-second mark. Juan Carlos, would you like to get us started today?
Yeah. Well, on my temperature check, I haven't been feeling on my 100%. I have a little bit of a cold. But yeah, that's on the personal side. But on the community side, I feel like things are going really well. I feel that we have so much parties that and params parties that like people have a wide variety of choices where to go to. And yeah, I feel that things are going smooth, and I'm super excited about the commons upgrade. I will pass to Chuy.
Thank you, Juanca. Same things. Super excited for the Commons upgrade, especially that now I feel that new people that are approaching communities, kind of everything is like falling into place. So I don't know if anyone has had the chance to check the threads that we have going on in the comms channel, but we now have like small like units of what are going to be teams after the commons upgrade, and we have a thread for each of them. So it's like comms and then like different departments. And so far we have animation and video production, translation, Twitter planning, and HubSpot. I just have to put together the HubSpot one, but I already think with Manu about that. So yeah, it's like coming together so well. It's such a relief, and yeah, I'm very happy about this. So temperature check is like warm and enjoyable at this point before chaos. I'll pass it to Septi.
Oh, thanks, Chuy. Like this mic is never muted. Yeah, today I have a boost of energy. I was driving for the first time, and then I was so scared in the car. And there is a lot of things. There's cars, there's people, and I don't know. But then when I went down the car, I was feeling like a lot of energy. So yeah, it was fun. And then I had like two very fun parade party today, and like every time, like the parade party has been so great. Like I had one today with Lauren. Like we were forking each other proposal and arguing why this fork was better. So it was so fun. And yeah, overall, like I'm having so much fun with this program. I'm so excited for the debates. And yeah, I don't know, a lot of energy. I'll pass it to Nate.
Thanks, Zepti. Yeah, community vibe is good. A lot of new things going on. I'm excited about it, but yeah, I don't really have much to contribute outside of that. So I'll pass it to Griff, who just joined.
Oh no, what's the heat check?
Yep.
That's right.
Well, we had 3 param parties going on at the same time, so that's amazing. Just a couple hours ago, and the vibes are high. Yeah, I feel pretty good. I don't, it's the same as last week. Param parties are awesome. People are having a blast. I feel like everything's kind of just flowing, and we just have to, keep chugging along. Lots of new people every time, and I think people are really starting to appreciate the value that we're adding to the ecosystem. And I'll pass it to Tam to pass it.
What about Livia?
Yeah, feeling super excited. Yesterday was a really good day. We started the reward system research group, and there was so many people, and everyone was super excited about the TC, and some people joined in the orientation call today, so it was cool to see that happening. And then the graviton training went so well. Like I felt like so blessed after it. I don't know. I was just feeling like really, really great. And I don't know, with the trust that we have on each other and the level of vulnerability that people open themselves to, and that we really like are patient with each other. And like last week I was feeling like shit, and then coming here every day was so awesome, and feeling the support of everyone, and feeling like there's no judgment of when people are in a bad day or in a good day, and there's just like supportiveness. And I really like appreciate this from our culture. And sometimes looking into Twitter, seeing what people were like, the challenges that people are talking about other communities, or things that they are complaining about the DAO space. I'm like, have you guys checked the TC yet? Like, we don't have that stuff happening. No, I'm joking. It's not all perfect, of course, but there is so much that I do feel like we have accomplished here because we are like in a bond with each other. And I'll pass to Kuwanka. Have you gone yet?
I did go, and I'll pass to Nate.
Nate also went. What about Eduardo?
Sorry, Nate.
Thank you. Two sides. The personal one is that I am flying to Panama for the first time in 2 years on next Sunday. So that of course keeps my energy kind of in a high mood. So that's good. And as a personal part, and then the professional part, or like the community part, and then we'll call it professional, the community part. I do feel, three Wednesdays ago, we had a huge attendance in orientation. I was like, oh, this is good, this is amazing, but this is not, this won't happen again. People will not stop showing, people will stop showing because we accumulated people, and then they show up at this call. And then every Wednesday there's new people, and that always is, like Tam and Libby mentioned, it's a drug to welcome people and to be able to, and somehow makes their journey easier. I think that's really interesting. I'm really excited I'm really excited to the team of Comunitas to present tomorrow the onboarding journey, day 0 part. I think it could be really nice for the community to see what they have been doing. And yeah, I don't know, it's pretty nice. It's a good momentum, I feel. And I will pass it on to Pythagorean. How are you doing? Temperature check. How was your first weeks here? How were your first weeks?
Hey, Pythagorean. If you're here, we usually start the stewards call with a temperature check on yourself or the thing you see in the community that you want to raise.
Yeah, thank you. Well, temp's hot. Temps continues to be red hot, and yeah, I'm just loving being here, and I'm so grateful to know that this community's here. Thank you.
Cool. And Pastor Ryder.
Thanks. Gravity was fire. Livy, that was my favorite. Graviton, not to downsize the other ones, but breakout rooms, intimacy, questions, these are some of my favorite things. So that really, I think, set a good tone for TC in this moment for me. And I want to tease out like a bit of a struggle I'm having, because on the one side, or not the one side, the reality is like TEC feels like self-care for me being in these spaces. So I love coming in and being involved here. And I also feel like it's really hard for me to grasp like all the levels of TEC and like how it's funded or how it became what it is today. And it's very complex for me. And I'm not rabbit holing on it. I'm like choosing not to, because that's not good for my mental health. So why ruin a good thing, you know? But yeah, I feel like, and then we're all bootstrapping, you know? So I guess there is a level of complexity and sometimes like convolution that the TEC brings when I try to understand things. in the spaces, even when I'm trying to take it one working group at a time. And I look forward to that, like, you know, being a part of that being easier as we move forward. And I think you probably unmuted because my time's up. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll stop talking.
I'm trying to unmute at like the 10 seconds left. Yeah. Cool. And then for me, yeah, Olivia, I really loved the Graviton yesterday. I just thought it was really excellent in so many ways. Also one of my favorites. You know, the thing that Eduardo said, I also wanted to say, like, we're averaging about a dozen new people, you know, every orientation. That's pretty cool, you know, like, and we were saying in the beginning of this, like, we all get so high off the orientation call that, like, we all come in here and are like, oh my God, we're all high, they're gonna know, you know, it's just like, we just get high off those really cool vibes of like everyone being excited and feeling welcomed and feeling like the warmness of our community. So it's really cool. So that's really cool. I joined Chewy's Param's party in another community today, and he just killed it. That was really cool. It was really nice. So, you know, just overall, things are feeling very, very positive and enthusiastic. And then I just want to say maybe the one thing I want to say too, and it relates a little bit to what you're saying, Ryder. And it's I had a call with Gideon yesterday, and we were sort of talking about the TEC and like, you know, it's like it's a community he's really passionate about and has decided to focus his time on. But it's you know, something that he raised is like, it seems a lot like we're talking to ourselves, like our communication is to us, but like breaking out of that and telling our story outside the TEC is something that we can still work on and improve there, you know. And it's sort of like if I want to bring one sort of downer thing into that, it's like, or where we can improve, I still think we can improve there, and now is the time to do it too. So okay, that is it. I didn't miss anyone, did I? No. Okay, so have you checked your GitHub notifications? Now's a really good time just to see if anyone has anything in GitHub that they're waiting on you for. That's just your regular weekly public service announcement. I dropped this Comunitas working group funding proposal in the Stewards channel and in Comunitas because I think it's ready for the forum. It is as detailed as I thought our community deserves and should know in order to vote on this. So it goes through the services that the Comunitas working group will provide to the TEC, the key roles that are expected to be compensated, a weekly rate of $420 for an expectation of 15 to 20 hours of effort, roughly. And then the idea that it'll be prorated based on day and allocated or dispensed at the end of the month. There's a process for how we expect to allocate it, which is essentially using something like what Deep Work is doing, something like I've seen other communities do. Every paid contributor would post their, I mean, they would post their role and the work that they've completed on our Discord channel. And so something very simple, but still transparent. And then if there's no disagreement, then the distribution just happens that first week of every month for the previous week. So the idea is that we are a small working group. We will trust each other, and if we will sort of be mutually accountable to each other by providing our role, the work, and our compensation requested on our Comunitas channel at the first days of every month, and sort of at the end of that week, if there's no objections, then the working group will distribute those compensations. There is a bunch of people that are really active in Comunitas right now. This is not the final list. They haven't even agreed to it yet. So this is something of like what it'll probably look like based on who's really active in Comunitas right now. There is likely to be other people. There are some people who may not want to commit to a role, so that can change as well. And then our manifesto is here. The funding we're going to request is for 3 months, and it's going to be 46,410, probably wrapped XTI. And the address will be provided at the end of when the proposal is final. I did some, quick things. I didn't spend a lot of time on, describing the benefit to token engineering. I didn't spend a lot of time on previous experience and interests. So if there is any areas that could use a little more, that's probably it. So that would be a fair criticism for sure. So I'd love to hear it. Does anyone, is there anything that can make this better before we post it on the forum tonight? Yeah, Eduardo, shoot.
Just a quick question that I forgot to actually mention when you asked me. Do we, is the working group are going to have a accountant, or every working group will have to make sure that they have their own accountant who will make sure of the payment? How we are going to manage that? If that has been answered, that question already, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it should either be the responsibility of the steward or the working group lead. The working groups are very autonomous, and as of yet, there's no cross working group role for doing accounting. So it's probably going to be each working group handling it on their own until another suggestion is offered.
At least to start, we have Rochelle. She will be happy to help. But I do think that makes a lot of sense to have maybe a role, and maybe it's Rochelle in the long run, and she just requests some funds from the DAO to support accounting, but at least just to help you make accounting, or the steward, just as someone to bounce things off of.
Yeah, that would be great, actually. And maybe there are some, in the special projects budget. There's a special projects budget, maybe I should mention that, which is I don't know what it is yet, but it's going to be things like that. It might be things I put some examples here too. Discord bots, new projects like that, recurring one-off or recurring events, small projects around community appreciation or these kinds of things. And something like accounting could very easily be used for that purpose too. Yeah, Ryder?
Selfish comment, but I haven't gotten to get involved in Comunitas yet, and I'm curious, with this kind of more formal kind of proposal, will it make it harder for people to join and be involved?
Yeah, it's actually a great question. My feeling is that there's going to be this fixed team to start with for okay, these people are going to commit for the next 3 months, but then it's going to be people can always contribute, and they would be sort of compensated by rewards, or maybe they can propose a special project and receive funding for some number of hours a week for some period of time. And then ultimately, in the next version of the funding, perhaps they could be a person that's has a role on the project, on the working group.
I want to slow that proposal part down. Is the proposal something that you would do to the working group? Yeah. If I wanted, yeah, okay, cool. Just checking. And I love that. Yeah, the first 3 months getting people paid, and then what's the next one going to look like, and what's it going to look like when we have a token, and yeah. Thank you. It feels like it was a good question, but it's also very clear, because it's incrementally happening, and I appreciate that this is happening, and valuing the people who want to contribute more.
One thing I would add is that I couldn't see exactly, but you have a specific amount requested. Maybe make it based off of wait until you have the conviction voting parameters to define that number. Just say because it might make more sense to request less, each month, as 3 different proposals, and then you request it all at once, but it might be 3 different proposals, or even 2 weeks, based off of the conviction voting, the spending limit and how the conviction voting parameters are.
Yeah, it's a really good idea. And then, yeah, I mean, I guess on the flip side, if the parameters are a set of conviction, it's interesting.
You're going to do it.
Am I the one has a bad connection?
Griff's breaking up.
Okay. Sorry, Griff, you're coming in and out.
It's okay. You can keep going.
Okay. Yeah, my response to that is it's a really good point. And part of it's sort of the chicken or the egg. If we end up setting the parameters of conviction voting too low, we're going to have 11 working group funding proposals every 2 weeks that we have to vote in. So there's sort of that's also a consideration to take into while we're setting the parameters, but it's a good point. Do you think that should do you think I should not post this on the forum then or do you think I should take that as a caveat?
I think just I would just say like amount requested, this amount, but it may be in several proposals. And the thing is, you don't have to do it based off those parameters. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do a new proposal every 2 months, every 2 weeks. You could put all of your proposals for the next year up. And then it's all about coordinating token holders to move their tokens. Okay, pass this proposal first. Okay, then we pass this proposal. Then we pass that proposal. And coordinating token holders to pass proposals in sequence. And maybe they're passed quickly because a lot of tokens go one to another, or maybe they pass slowly. It's like if you have to do it in 2 week segments, then maybe you'll just move the tokens. Maybe our first 2 weeks is hanging out and moving tokens every day. That could happen.
Okay, good feedback. I threw a caveat in because I think it's a good point. All right. Would anyone else like to offer thoughts or any improvements we can make here before it goes on the forum today?
So I just have my only concerns are kind of what Ryder was speaking to in terms of capacity to onboard new contributors into this type of system, especially when some are getting paid and others are just being considered contributors. I think it's a challenging problem that we really need to be upfront about or be completely discreet about. It's one or the other, and so I don't know how to deal with it.
That I think my first call at TEC. Oh, sorry, Edu, were you in front of me? Okay, my first was like looking at the praise spreadsheet. And like people talking about how to that was my first call. People talking about how to how to do that. And so it brings up for me are these people now going to be quantified differently in praise? And this might already be known by other folks, but just in case it hasn't been considered, I don't think I saw it in the sheet, but I'm also browsing, so.
One thing we talk in transparency, I don't know if it was included at the end in Septimus, you can answer to this later, but one of the things we talk in transparency, since transparency is a small working group, but it brings so much value, they will probably require other people to join. But what happens if they join at the middle of their budget proposal, the execution of their budget proposal? So I mean, it's a cliche, but we went back to retroactive funding. That was a possibility that we thought on for in transparency in that session that we were having, or allocating a small amount of money dedicated for 911 situations that could be funding someone new. And then if that was not spent, then it was taken in consideration in the next proposal for the next iteration. So it will keep sort of being able to use or retroactive funding if that person agrees to retroactive funding.
To address Ryder's question, I don't think the reward system is currently accounting for if you get paid or not from a working group. Olivia, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But...
Yeah, it's not.
Plug for source cred on Discord.
Yeah,
No, I mean, it's not taking into consideration people. It's not double rewarding. It's not that it's not that the reward systems is not rewarding. It's just that it's not subtracting anything from whoever is paid to do the same work.
No, I think
so. Whether you're paid or not.
Wait, say that again, Griff. Go ahead.
So if you're paid, you get the same amount of rewards as if you weren't being paid.
Yeah, I think my plug was. I don't think you understood my plug. My plug for source credit is that what source credit acts a lot like praise, except for you can put up parameters and policies for if people are paid, they can be on a balance policy instead of instead of, they can be on a different policy and get paid from a different chunk so that they're not taking from like a broader group of contributors in a different chunk. And it's like a part of the product. And so I see it as like valuable. So I was like, plug for source cred, because it could, yeah.
All right. Yeah, and Nate, to your question, the same thing as Ryder. I think we're going to see how it plays out. I have a feeling, it will resolve itself either in 3 months is a pretty small amount of time in terms of like forecasting. But if we end up doing proposals every 2 weeks, well, that problem kind of solves itself too, right? So I think we can keep an eye on that and tweak so we can make sure that it works out for new people joining.
Yeah, and do we have a different approach towards the working groups that are clearly they're on a path to generate some type of revenue in the future versus the working groups that are vital, like transparency, but don't really have much of a financial offer for the commons itself?
Wow, I thought transparency could be a great service for other DAOs.
Oh, I want to hear this. Let me throw it on me.
I mean, yeah, I don't know what transparency wants to do, but it would be great if it could offer that service to other devs too. I think that there's a lot of, the Ocean protocol team is modeling their current like stewarding and working groups and processes a lot after what they've seen in the TEC. And one of it is to make sure that all calls are recorded and available after. So I think that this is something that's actually going to be more popular rather than less popular, especially in DAOs. But yeah, that's conjecture.
I want to dish major praise to the stewards proposal, to this Comunitas proposal. I think they might be one of the newest working groups. Am I right? And it's so needed. And I came in here really wanting to do a lot of this stuff. And I see 2 of my comrades from Source Cred on there. And like, I'm just so excited to see what folks will feel empowered to do while being like actively valued and like seen and like, yeah, just like reading through it, there's just, y'all have a lot of amazing stuff to deliver and there shouldn't be anything holding people back. So.
And you are welcome. We meet you're welcome to the calls, Mondays, 8 p.m. That sound, you're welcome, like you're welcome. No, that doesn't sound like that, sorry.
Yeah, it keeps being up against other things I'm doing, but it's amazing. I'm so glad it's happening. And I want it, yes.
Okay, I think I'm gonna move on from this. Maybe just with the caveat, the ending note that tomorrow in our Stewards Council, hopefully we'll have a good idea of funding that's going to be required. Maybe I'll talk about that a little bit later, but also if we can have more, I'm committed, I'm determined also to have the stewards ready. It's mostly there now. I just need to put it in the right format. So I'm determined to have that ready as well this week and post it on the forum. And then if we can have a good working idea of, maybe we'll just jump to this now. For the Stewards Council tomorrow, I think we'll talk about funding. So I have 2 questions. I threw some initial thoughts here. Okay, what is our initial funding that we need? What are the considerations we want to take into account when we're talking about the Commons Pool, Reserve Pool, balance, knowing the initial funding that's going to be requested and the initial buy-in, I guess, as well, and then brainstorm some future revenue ideas. But I want to ask if there's anyone who wants to moderate this discussion tomorrow around the economic aspect of launching and the economic responsibilities that the TEC will have to support. Is there anyone who wants to moderate that discussion? Sort of an open call for anyone to do.
Can you say a little bit more about what you're expecting the results of the discussion to be?
Yeah, just to put on everyone's radar, like, okay, here is what this is the lump sum that we're estimating will be required for the next 3 months or 6 months of DAO operations, right? So the runway for DAO operations and working groups to continue to support. and the parameters around like how much we're setting aside for the commons pool and how much we're setting aside for the reserve pool. So like matching these things together, right? And trying to understand the implications of those three things together. Because we're doing the working group funding and then we're doing the parameters, and they're quite kind of very separate right now, but they are closely tied to each other. At least the runway for the DAO operations, and what is our expectation for funding TE projects, right? I mean, that like how much we have in the commons pool is going to determine how much DAO runway we have and how much we can fund TE projects. So that discussion.
When is this discussion supposed to happen?
Mañana, tomorrow, at our Stewards Council. So maybe, does it sound like a discussion that we want to have? Question mark. We're ready
Definitely.
to have.
Yeah, I'm happy to facilitate, but I feel like I'm going to be speaking a lot too. So I don't know if that's the best situation or not.
Isn't it too early to have that discussion? Like, I would suggest we have it when the runoff is happening, because we'll have an idea of what are the parameters that at least are like in the range of being chosen. Because now we're going to talk about this, but then we have no idea about the params, and that will affect so much.
I feel like it's the other way around, though. We want to implement parameters by saying, hey, this is what we expect operations to cost.
Yeah,
Right.
and we're starting
Yeah,
debates
that makes
Friday. So if we wait 2 weeks, we'll have like we won't be able to debate. You know, I feel like it's preparing us to be able to debate the params.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I'll do it. And you're right, Griff, you will talk. I think because a lot of this is like your own insight and experience and, you know, understanding the params. Okay. Then if anyone wants to drop things that can help this in the, I'll think about it some more and maybe come up with another way to moderate it or facilitate it. And yeah, do the best I can tomorrow then. I think Mitch also felt very passionate about this too. It might have been him that put it on the sprint retrospective board. And now he's on vacation, oh no. Okay. Okay, cool. Then can I just ask if, I think I have an estimate for most working groups. And here, it should be in here actually. Is this it? Yeah, I think I have an estimate for most working groups now, but if you can make sure that this is a good estimate, that would be great. So stewards, so this is probably, I'll have to double check that. But yeah, I guess we're looking at about 150, and this doesn't include Omega only, actually. Okay, cool. I'll move on from the council then. So Commons upgrade, this is where we're tracking blockers to the Commons upgrade. So these are things that until they're done, we cannot do the Commons upgrade. So I've started adding the ZenHub issues that are associated with it. The demo with feedback, I think that, well, I don't know if we want to go through these one by one, but I know that that's Griff, something Griff is managing. The Covenant, I know that's something that Livia is managing. The laser tag multisig is, I believe, blocked by something. Do we know when that, we have an estimation for when that vote can go on Snapshot?
Yeah, Livia, what's the latest on that? Sorry, I wasn't there for SoftGov or Zeptimus.
Talking to Pedro, we did a few other tests today, but like trying both strategies, one strategy, changing a few things, and still with both strategies, it's still showing like a 0 token holding. So he's in touch with Snapshot, and we're trying to solve that. But we're very on top of it. So hopefully ASAP.
Would it be so bad with a weighted voting, like normal ranked choice voting?
Yeah, because that's not what we passed in the proposal. The only thing we could do different is quadratic voting.
I mean, we can use the other token, right? Like when do we decide that when do we give up on snapshot and go for the other token? I don't know what the time. I don't know if there's necessarily like such a time limit or anything, but
any time. I mean, if it's not like complicated to do the other choice. The thing is that the other choice is always available, so we can use quadratic ranked choice voting no matter what. We just don't know if it's going to be this manual process or one that is going to be more permanent. So it's up to us, really.
should we pick a day that we want to decide one or the other? Like if snapshot doesn't get done by this day, then we make a new snapshot with this other token.
Yeah, is there any type of urgency on the laser tag? We could say Friday.
Is there urgency on laser tag? I mean, we have a month till we launch.
I mean, the only thing
Maybe.
I'm thinking of is like the legal document, like there's a legal document for the treasury, and the intention is like ask advice for the people inside laser tag, like yeah, like like yeah, it's good if they have some time at least to read and build that documentation. But other than that, yeah, after the commons upgrade.
I mean, I think, something like even a week is probably acceptable, and that gives like 3 weeks before the commons upgrade. I mean, I guess it's just up to the people to make sure that they're still willing to accept it and set up the multi-sig and maybe put some processes in place for how they want to.
How long does the vote last?
4 days.
So it's a 4-day vote, and then maybe 2 days to corral people for signatures when they deploy the multi-sig, which is very generous. It takes no time at all. And then, so I guess we have, at least let's just say a week. We don't get snapshot working for a week.
Yeah, I think the only thing is not even so technical, is more like not losing momentum with the people that you already spoke to. So we could say like, oh, let's give it a couple of days because we're looking into this now. And then if it doesn't work, we can go for the other option.
All right, cool. So we'll move on. Yay, rewards DAO. So that is, as Olivia pointed out, already existing. So the initial buy portion that will go to the rewards DAO can go to this address. I think that's amazing that that's solved. The working group funding proposals. I don't know why I put that there when it belongs there. Not blocking, but important. So I'm leaving them to make sure we keep momentum there. The final params is obvious. And then the legal T&C really is just taking the final params and plugging it into the existing docs. So that's really nothing to do until that's ready. Does anyone want to raise anything else that's blocking the commons upgrade that's not on this list? Okay. Well, we'll keep looking at this every Wednesday. Community call tomorrow. Prepare your slides. I just want to check in and see if there's anything that we want to talk about before tomorrow's community call, based on maybe some of our experiences from last week's community call.
So there's this survey that Caesar is working on to talk to the community if they have ideas of how to improve the community call. So it was up for feedback, for advice, but I'll ask him to just make the survey for tomorrow so we can pass it around in the community call if anyone opposes that.
All right. Anything else on the community call that we want to sync on before we jump onto it tomorrow? Okay. Maybe one thing. Are we posting? Is there's the same URL for the streaming on YouTube? It's the same URL every week, right? Maybe we could. I don't know if somebody wants to take on at the beginning of the community call, dropping that streaming into the general channel so people can, if they aren't able to make it into the channel, can stream live.
And Twitter, I think will be nice to also share it on Twitter.
Yeah, actually, for the stream, like if people is following the channel, like and activate the bell. Every week, every time I start the stream, I receive a notification on my phone like, "Oh, this is live," and you click there and you can just watch it.
Oh, cool! That happens on YouTube, right?
Yeah, and you just need to click the bell, and it comes to your phone. Like, it's awesome. But yeah, we could like maybe like when Griff is doing, talking about gravitons and all of this, we could drop a link, and yeah, I think that also could be good.
Cool.
Yeah, and
I
I think. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to ask Zeptimus, do you mind taking that on?
Yeah,
you're also doing the timer. Right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just copy paste a link. Yeah, I can do that. But maybe I post it on a slide, then Griff present it, because it makes more sense if it's at the beginning of the call, right? Not when transparency comes out.
Oh, I was thinking on the channel, on the community channel or on the general channel, so that people, because when people can't get in to the channel, then the community channel, then they go to the community can't join channel actually, or the general channel, so people could still see it, stream it if they can't join the channel.
Could they make it like before? Could they just post the link just right before the community call start, like at 7:59? Because when I'm recording, it's better not to start navigating a lot.
Yeah, no, that'd be excellent. Like if you can't join, you can stream here.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's excellent.
I can do that.
All right, cool. Cool. Okay, so if you look at your Discord now, on the top left, you see Live Now, Stewards Weekly. That is the native Discord schedule that we're still sort of trying out. It's kind of nice. I think it's nice that anyone who joins the server can see that there is a live stream happening right now. So I think we should probably figure out how to do this. The plus side is it's native to Discord and they're going to be building it up. The con side is probably it's going to mean that somebody would have to take on creating weekly all of the events because there's no repeating right now. So maybe we could get someone to just once a week create all of the events until they have the repeating feature, which I'm pretty sure they're probably going to build. But something like that would be like the downside of it. But I think it's probably worth us doing if we could find someone who can do that every maybe Sunday or something like that. I don't know that I have any other thoughts, or anyone else has any other thoughts about the native events on Discord.
I wanted to raise the partnership thing. There are more stewards in this call, so it's probably a good idea. With this, when Discord pushed this calendar and events function, they also pushed a partner program. And I think we meet most of the requirements. So, I mean, I just feel that it's something nice, and especially since I think 80% of DAOs are working on top of Discord. So I feel that if there's any way we could have some direct contact to provide feedback, and I feel that there are a lot of ideas of places where Discord could expand. So maybe the token engineering commons could be nice, and maybe get some like marketing benefits while we're at it. So yeah, I mean, I still haven't like read enough on some of the cons that may be involved in this partnership. But yeah, I just wanted to raise this to see if anybody had like any opinions, or maybe some of you already know some of the cons that may arise. So yeah, just raising this partnership topic.
I think it's worth it. Let's go.
Yeah, I think we couldn't be without Discord. So the more that we can partner with them to help build the product to support DAOs like ours, the better.
And we definitely qualify for that partnership. So I don't see any reason why not to.
Cool. All right. Any other thoughts about the Discord partnership? I feel like it's like green light, green light, green light, go. Sounds great. Yeah, and maybe we can get them to add repeating to the events.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I remembered actually. But maybe now that we're at it, Septi, would you like to raise the 2FA authentication on Discord for stewards issue?
Oh yeah, I mean that's actually an idea of true, and it's a fantastic idea and increase our security, and we should think about it. And it's actually needed for the Discord partnership. We should set up everyone that's an admin in the Discord server should set up the 2FA, and it would bring us more security. You know, like if we get hacked or whatever, and personal, like if we have like 2FA, it's more secure, and then we also qualify for this Discord partnership. So yeah, thank you so much, Chuy, for raising that point. I might DM every admin just to keep us remember, and when we all have them, we can just check in.
Cool. Okay, then we move on from that, and time for a check-in, I guess. So maybe we'll go around. Eduardo, do you want to give an update on Comunitas and maybe the idea for what how the Comunitas presentation on the community call will go tomorrow?
Yeah, so I think with MS today, we basically, and I think with LLB today also, and basically I lay it out on the community and the Comunitas text channel. Maybe it's a little confusing, but basically MS will provide the layout and the rationale of the day 0 new onboarding part that we are launching, and just explain it and so on, and then acknowledge the team who has been part of that, and then pass it on to ViViV for the bots, an explanation of the bots and which are the bots that are going to get deployed or anything else like that. So I try to thought it in the simplest way possible that is not confusing, and I thought later on, as the feedback from the community, from the Comunitas call, that bringing LB and Gideon or someone else would bring more confusion to the explanation than clarity. So I thought MS has a good overview, and he has pushing this forward. So he will explain the first part and then finish with ViViV explaining the bots. So that's simple.
Cool. Okay, I hope it goes well. Do you want to give any other updates from Comunitas?
No, it's just there was this thing I updated. I don't know if it's regarding this or comms, but we talked with we had an issue in the past weeks, which is one of the earliest issues in GitHub about the podcast, and we had a sync on Tuesday regarding that, and we update the document regarding the podcast. I added the link to that document into the issue, so if anyone else want to take a look at it and provide feedback to it, that would be really nice. We will record a pilot and then share it to receive feedback from the community to see what they think, and the stewards what they think, and blah, blah, blah. Is there at the bottom. I also changed the I also changed the description of the issue, so it's more explanatory. But yeah, basically, this document lays out the brainstorming that we had. And then if you see at the bottom, it says Nate created this, and it says podcast episode ideas, and then a bunch of ideas for the first pilot. So we went for the easiest ones, in this case, DAO to DAO. And then, I don't know, Nate, do you want to share a little bit more?
Yeah, the idea is just to get some topics going and then see how we can structure the potential podcast around these topics. It's kind of hard to take this token engineering or be too niche and limit ourselves. So we kind of want to take this kind of broad stroke and see what we can get going. Yeah, if you have any ideas or thoughts about this, it would be greatly appreciated. And if anybody's interested in working on this, towards this, please send them our way, because I think it'd be really interesting to get some good talks going around a lot of the different subjects that we have, just as a way to get some awareness of the TEC.
Yeah, and we'll probably request support from Griff to connect with certain people that can sort of bring certain expertise on certain topics. And also the idea is to first education, and secondly to validate the TEC and to put out a lot of knowledge that is here in the minds and brains of a lot of our contributors, and see we can sort of get our message across and be validated externally, because we provide knowledge to the ecosystem. So that's also one of the intentions of this. So I updated that. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, cool. Interesting. The bear and the bull. Cool. I'm looking forward to seeing how this develops, actually. I guess is the idea to have a subject and then one or multiple guests talk about that subject, and it be somebody in the TEC who's sort of moderating that discussion?
So the first two pilots, the first attempt that we're going to try is to see the dynamic in between Nate and I on talking during this podcast, and then having guests by audio, like just interventions by people by audio that we will pre-record and just pre-record the podcast. It won't be live technically, so in a way we can sort of see how it works, see what works better for the topic, see how our dynamic makes sense, and if it's fluid and so on, rather than having guests and bring them to chaos at the beginning. So we will probably leave the guest after the first two pilots.
Cool. Okay, good luck.
Yes, thank you. So I tagged Comunitas, and I tagged also comms. So yeah, that's on that end. And besides that, I updated some other issues last sprint. Comunitas. There you go. If I'm not wrong, yes, I had a few questions. Record orientation weekly call. Since the idea was to record 3 or 2 orientation call to just have there and create a video based on the orientation call. I think we have enough content so far. I don't know if you agree with that, but would you like to record more?
I think maybe we can keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been doing good with the onboarding. The Comunitas call, but I haven't been recording this one. Damn it, I forgot I was supposed to do that today. Okay.
So I think it could be nice. I don't know if they have been uploaded to YouTube publicly, or they're just waiting for them to be like split and make a single video.
They are up. They are up as every I think there's 3 of them. And
yeah,
it's just a call like all the rest.
Yeah, and Eduardo, can we do the same thing we do with the Comunitas call? Can you add it as like the first item on the agenda? Are we recording? Yeah. That's my view.
Okay, perfect. Yes, we'll take that for next.
Okay.
Yeah, I think sorry, I'm burned out from today. I think I have updated more 2 other issues. I just cannot recall which ones I updated. I will make sure to do it and remember it and look for it. But yeah.
Okay, and I think MS and Vi will present tomorrow for an update of the onboarding experience. All
Yeah,
right,
I did check with Vi. Sorry, I did check with Vi regarding the bot, and he said they will be ready for tomorrow. Just confirming that.
Cool. We have 3 minutes left. I know, Chewy, do you want to give an update from comms?
Sorry, Tom, my headset just ran out of battery. Okay, communications. Sorry, I didn't have the board in hand, but let me check it. Okay. So I'll start with some of the stuff from the Icebox about the orientation video. This project, I mean, we still have to go through the Commons upgrade, but since we got like a small unit that has a lot of experience in animation and stuff like this, I feel that just having this kind of stuff in the Icebox can be very helpful, so that these teams and creatives that we are attracting to the community can just have something to start off. So yeah, I feel that the next sprint could be great for picking up on this one. So yes, I wanted to just mention this. Can anybody see the threads under the communications channel, or is it, or can you see them just if you're following the threads?
I mean, I've seen them when I've been scrolling through comms, but also there's active threads in the top on the left panel now under the events. There's also an active threads, which you can use to start searching for active threads. I find they get a little lost, actually, but I found that active threads, its own section on the left panel of Discord, makes them more visible.
Okay, so we're gonna be following up with some of the teams that are coming together in these threads. Funding proposal. I'm behind with that because this week I prioritized the params parties in other communities. But yeah, I've been putting that on standby for this week. But I really hope to have that ready by the end of this sprint. Content map. Well, I know that we're at the top of the hour. Sorry, in case somebody needs to leave. But for the content map, in just like a clear index of what we have right now, there is a team getting together around translations. So that has been also like a common topic on stuff that
Actually, I have to jump.
Sorry. Sorry, I'll work in the board. Sorry, everyone.
Well, I'm sorry we're out of time. I'm sorry. I think the Comunitas funding proposal took a lot of time. So